you ready?
Level Up Daily, the hottest podcast for self-growth, with interviews from the hottest celebrities.
Told her to level me up, yeah.
Now, your host, DeAndre Evans.
Told her to level me up, yeah.
It's time to level up.
Now level up.
Hey, what's up, guys? Much love to those returning. Shout out for those tuning in for the first time. You know what time it is, and today I have a very special guest. You may know her from the hit reality show, The Bachelor, or the web series Role Models. She starred as a special guest on The Ellen Show. She's known for her work on Hide and Seek, and she's also an entrepreneur who's been killing the game since a young age. I have the beautiful and talented Danielle Lombard on the show. What's up, Danielle? How you feeling?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. Yeah, excited to be here.
Absolutely. Let's do this. Let's do it. I hope you're ready.
Yeah, I am.
All right, perfect. I'm glad to have you on the show. I feel it's going to be a dope segment. I'm excited. And a lot of my listeners who was tuning in, they've been asking a lot of questions. So I hope you're ready to answer all of them because they've been on me like the past 24, 48 hours. So,
let's do it.
All right, cool. Now, I know you're a busy woman and you have a lot of things going on. But before we dive into the details about that, just for everyone listening, could you tell us a little bit about you, where you're from and how you got started on this journey?
Yeah, I mean, I'm born and raised in Northern California. I grew up in a pretty small town. Mm-hmm. And then I would say in terms of my educational and work experience, it's been pretty crazy. Like I was known as the Jack of Trades. I have degrees in cosmetology, in marketing, and also in psychology and social behavior.
Nice.
So, I think I just started on a career path that, started off in the cosmetic industry and then slowly turned into something more entrepreneurial. And I just used my background experience from normally working 2 to 3 jobs at a time throughout college and just applied that to my businesses and wound up on a reality TV show. So I think I've had a pretty crazy life so far.
Nice. Now you say you was working 2 jobs, prior to doing what you're doing. What were the jobs?
My first job was working in a beauty supply store.
Nice.
In town. Mm-hmm. And then I'd also worked as a barista at Starbucks. I worked in a restaurant. Mm-hmm. And so those would be like the main things. But yeah, I've also worked in a doctor's office before. In a nail salon before I had my own.
Wow. Okay.
So a lot of those things, that contributed.
Yeah, basically, like you said, the Jill of all trades. But...
Yeah, exactly. The Jill, yeah.
But okay, cool. So what really inspired you to get started with just everything overall? Because I mean, you were featured on the show, The Bachelor, right? Mm-hmm. And first of all, just to clear this up for those tuning in who may not know, just explain this concept because it's kind of hard to explain. So, The Bachelor, it was 2 versions, The Bachelor and The Bachelor in Paradise, right?
Yeah.
And The Bachelor in Paradise, basically, ladies and gents who's tuning in, basically people go from The Bachelor and they go to this place called Paradise, right? And they try to hook up and make relationships, something along those lines.
Yeah. So I think for those who aren't familiar with the Bachelor franchise, it was a show that I had personally not really seen. I think I watched 1 season prior to going on.
Yeah.
And essentially how it started was they used to pick like an eligible bachelor, like someone who had a good job. They thought he was a good person, ready to get married. Mm-hmm. And they would bring on, 30 or so women that they felt like were eligible contestants. And you pretty much are on this dating show, completely removed and cut off from the outside world. And you're trying to see if you can form a relationship with this person. But it's very intense, a super crazy experience. I had no idea what to expect going into it.
Yeah.
And then, the hope is that you end up having a connection with this person and that you could potentially fall in love. And then Bachelor in Paradise, it's a spinoff. So they take past contestants from both The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. And you're on a beach in Mexico.
Nice.
And I think for me, it's interesting because you've all been through a very similar experience. So you can relate in that sense. And then hopefully everybody there is actually single and wanting to be in a relationship.
Exactly. It'd be all bad if everybody was taken and you got there like, what's going on?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Nice. So what exactly led up to that, that opportunity? Was it like the right place type of thing, right time, or did you like grind for that opportunity to come about? Like, how did it occur?
The opportunity for The Bachelor was pure chance. My sister had been a huge fan of the show.
Yeah.
And I remember she kept telling me, like, you need to submit an audition tape. Like, you need to go in an interview. And I'm like, I don't care. Like, I had no interest
Yeah.
or like motivation to do something like that. And
Mhm.
so she actually wrote a letter
Oh.
and submitted it
Uh-huh.
for me. And so I was actually preparing her trip for her 30th birthday. We are going to Iceland for 10 days.
Mhm.
And I think like a week before we left, they called and were like, asked me about the show and if I knew anything about it.
Yeah.
And it turned out my sister had wrote this, apparently an amazing letter.
Exactly, because
'Cause,
you were on. Yeah.
yeah, because I skipped the whole tryout audition process. I basically just went into their office one day and met with a couple of the producers.
Mhm.
I did everything else on my own, like
Yeah.
all the medical checks, going to see the background specialist, and went to Iceland for 10 days.
Mhm.
They told me while I was at Iceland that I was getting put on the show. And so 2 days later,
Yeah.
I came back, packed my bags, and went on. So yeah, it was a really, really crazy experience for me.
I would bet. I mean, so was you like upset at your sister during that time? Like, yo, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah, well, I had like just gotten out of a very serious relationship like
Mhm.
6 to 8 months prior to her submitting me.
Mm.
And so I think for her, she was just like, wasn't a fan of the ex, was
Yeah.
like, you're single.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Looking
love
out.
this show. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a great opportunity. And she's like, what, honestly, what do you have to lose?
Right.
So
Shout out to the sis out there.
I know. I was like, I want to see that letter.
Right, right.
What
let's
did
let's
you
read
say
that.
about me?
It had to be great. It had to be great.
Yeah.
So now overall, so you get drafted basically like a draft pick into this reality TV show.
Yeah.
What was your mindset, going into it? Like, how was that experience? Because honestly, I watched the show, right? Honestly, I watched
Hmm.
a few episodes. I'm not gonna say I watched all of them. I watched a few
Okay.
episodes, and all I can do during the time was like shake my head. I'm like, what are these guys thinking? Like, I'm yelling
I
at the TV.
know.
I'm like, yo, choose Danielle. She's the one, bro. Like, what's going on, right? So, like,
Yeah.
how was that entire experience for you, for like start to finish? What was it like being in, paradise?
Oh, in Paradise?
Mhm.
Well, I mean, yeah, Paradise was completely different and totally crazy. And I think
Yeah,
my mindset, first off, going on The Bachelor and Bachelor in Paradise was I'm a pretty confident person.
yeah,
I've been in long-term relationships. And so I know what I have to offer someone else. And my mindset was always if I don't find someone and it doesn't work out, I'm okay with that. It's
mm,
just one relationship and there's going to be plenty more people out there
right.
that I could date. So, I mean, I tried not to be too hard on myself. Paradise was completely different though. It was
Yeah,
that our season was insane. Like, I don't know if this upcoming season of Paradise will be as crazy, but
uh-huh.
it was because so many contestants were from my season of The Bachelor. So we
Mm,
were all extremely close. And
mhm.
then all of the guys were from our friend Rachel's season of The Bachelorette. So even though, because Paradise starts filming while The Bachelorette is airing,
Yeah.
we didn't really know or how they were going to be portrayed on TV,
Mhm.
but we heard things from Rachel about certain guys.
Nice.
So that definitely helped us.
Got the
Yeah,
scoop.
and Paradise was pretty much just like you're on a beach on vacation with some of your best friends. So it's like if you meet someone, cool. If not, I'm here to just hang out, drink, and have fun.
Exactly. Let's kick it. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Nice, nice. So, is it really what it is? Because, like, from the outside looking in, when you're watching, shows like The Bachelor, The Bachelor in Paradise, people always are curious, like, is it really what it is? Like, is it all, good and cool? Or is it like some drama stuff going on behind the scenes? Like, what happens once, like, the episode ends and the cameras are off? Like, everybody kicking it, eating pizza, having drinks? Or is it like fights and drinks flying everywhere? Like, what's going on?
I mean, honestly, you're filming from very early on in the morning
Mhm.
all the way until the early dawn the next day.
Oh, my goodness.
So there's very little time where you're not filming, and they have so much content. They have to cut everything down and choose which storylines they want to play out.
Mhm.
So I would say out of the whole course of filming, especially on The Bachelor, we would only have like maybe a couple days
Mhm.
every like 5 or 6 days where like we're traveling to a new location. So like we're not filming the entire day.
Oh.
Or we would have like, I think 1 or 2 days where like there were no cameras filming us at all.
Mm.
But other than that, it's like cameras are rolling the whole entire time. Like you're exhausted. You're like mentally tired. You've
Yeah.
been awake for like 16 hours straight. You're drinking. So it's like they want to get all of that on camera though.
Gotcha. So how was
Yeah.
that though? Like overall, like did it affect you personally anyway? Like, because you say you basically on the go, you changing locations. Like, did you get any sleep? Like, was this like time you had time out for yourself? You know?
I mean, rarely, I think.
Yeah.
In Paradise, it's a little different. Like, I would say it's a little more relaxed. But we had that whole scandal that happened before during filming where we got shut down for a couple months. So they had to bump up all the hours of footage that they had to shoot and wrap within a certain amount of time. So we were, it was still like not getting any sleep, like maybe 4 hours of sleep every night.
Right. That's
so
crazy.
Yeah, you're exhausted, you're tired, you're extra emotional.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you're like, I just want to go home. I'm done.
Right?
Yeah. That's great. So that's basically like a full-time job. Like you got to get up and get to work.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it's exactly like when I had my businesses. Like there's no time to do anything. You just, you're constantly on the go.
Oh my goodness. So like you cramming all this information in, people hanging out, were there like issues with people dating, each other? Like we had to cram in dates, like people going on dates, breakfast, lunch, and dinner type of thing. Like
some people would go on dates, like people would get date cards and they get asked out on dates. I think one of my friends, was it Diggy? Like went on like 2 or 3 dates in one day.
What?
Yeah.
Oh wow. So was it?
Yeah, it's crazy because everyone's like taking someone on a date and it's like, wow, I literally just went on a date with this person and now they're going on a date with someone else. Kristen Whitney, I know she definitely went on a lot of dates. She was like the date queen.
The date queen. Shout out to Kristen.
But then certain people that were like coupled up, they wouldn't really get the opportunity to go on dates. Like maybe they would have one date where they actually got to leave.
Got you. Now, were there days where you feel like, I don't want to be here? I'm tired. The vibe was off. The weather was crazy. Was that ever a role that you played in your mind?
Oh, yeah, totally. I mean, that even happened when I was on The Bachelor. I just was so over it. There was drama in the house. I was just not feeling well. And the producers were actually really nice about that, though. When that happened for me, I think I stayed in the back room with some of the crew and was just eating the food, hanging out with them, taking a break.
Right. Just kicking it. Yeah.
Yeah. But for the most part, like they want to get those reactions on camera when you're not feeling well.
Right. I got you. Now, because I know it's obviously 2 different versions. You got The Bachelor and The Bachelor in Paradise. And I'm really just diving into the Paradise right now. And we probably get a little bit into the Bachelor original. But, it was an episode that I was watching recently. I think it was a couple of days back just to get a refresher. Because I was like, okay, I gotta check up on this, right?
Yeah.
So it was an episode where the guy, Dean, right? And you two were discussing a few things and potentially, going along the lines of becoming, a couple, right?
Yeah.
Now, I know something happened towards the end. It was where, you two got together. He sat down. He said, hey, this is how I'm feeling. Like, what was going through your mind when things didn't turn out the way you probably imagined between you and Dean?
I think at that point, there had been so much drama and going back and forth. I was just like completely over it. Like, I'm sure people he expected me to like break down and cry or be upset, but it was like, if you can't make up your mind after everything you've gone through and you're so like easily convinced and persuaded by other people, you just don't know what you want and it's not worth my time.
Right.
And I've already spent so much effort into trying to figure out what this is that I was just like, I'm done. I'm over it. If that's how you feel, great. Good for you.
Exactly.
Like, time to leave.
Gotcha. Because I was watching the episode, right, and I saw your face, and I was like, yeah, her face is saying something, and what she's actually saying is something else. Yeah.
It was like, this damn child. Like,
Exactly. So now, are you in a relationship now, or are you dating, or?
I would say I'm dating.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm nothing serious as of right now.
Nothing serious? Okay. Well, I guess it's time to turn this podcast into like Level Up Daily Paradise 2.0.
Yeah.
Try to be like
bring on some contestants.
Right, bring the matchmaker. So I'm gonna hit you with some questions. How tall are you?
I am 5'5".
All right. Favorite food?
Ooh, favorite food? I would say Japanese.
Japanese. Interesting. Okay, so what do you enjoy the most when you're free? Like you got your free time?
I like I'm an outdoors person. I like hiking, going to the beach, being outside.
Nice. Well, all right, fellas, I guess I started it off. I gave you a head start. Right. Feel free, shoot your shot, whatever happens. But right. But all jokes aside though, speaking of shooting shots, right? So I heard, there was a rumor going on, and I'm the type of guy that don't do rumors, right?
Yeah.
Instead, I like to address the situation with the person who knows what's up, right? And
Okay.
so obviously you're the person, and it was something going along the lines of Justin Bieber, right?
Oh my God.
Is
Yeah.
it is it true that Justin Bieber slid in your DMs? Is that true?
He is engaged now.
Okay.
But yes, he messaged me and I think a couple other girls from the season of Paradise.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we met up once, hung out. He's super nice. I think nothing happened.
Nothing. Okay. Because that was the next
Yeah.
question. I was like, I know Justin Bieber. Like, he's a cool dude. I know. But anything.
Yeah.
So you guys just kicked it. Had lunch or something. Just talk. Like what happened?
Yeah, we met up, went for like drinks, ate food, just hung out and talked about my experience on the show,
Mm-hmm.
what he'd been going through in life. I know nowadays he's like very connected to God. He goes to church all the time.
Yeah.
And my other friend from the show that he talks to, like, he had been telling her for a long time that he was just really wanting to settle down and get married. So makes total sense what happened recently between him and Haley. But for me, yeah, I saw it as just him talking and getting to know him. Like, I wasn't going all crazy or like a super fan or anything.
Right. Because I know girls would probably be going wild right now. They're probably mad, like, yo, you're not in my DMs. Like, what's going on, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
But no. So back to the Paradise or just the Bachelor overall. Like comparing the two, which one did you feel as though was like a better season for you? Like, did you have more connections on one, or you felt like you learned a lot on different platforms? Like, what was your take on that?
Well, I definitely think going into The Bachelor, I loved my experience on there. I had one incident that was awful and they didn't air it, so I can't talk about it. But
okay.
it like really forced you to like reflect and talk about things that have happened in your life in your past. Like you're literally talking about your feelings 24/7 and you're trying to get to know someone and establish a relationship within a short amount of time.
Right.
So to me, I really opened up and I talked about things that I haven't even discussed with like some of my best friends, even my sister, who is like someone I'm really close to. So that was probably the most life-changing experience for me. And I felt like I came out of that like wanting to be more open and really accepting those things that had happened in my past and like being more comfortable talking about them. So yeah, I would say The Bachelor 100%. Bachelor in Paradise to me was crazy. Like we called it spring break.
Spring break. Right. Going wild, right?
Yeah.
Crazy.
And then I had the little love triangle drama. So I think to me, like The Bachelor is probably better overall.
Yeah. And how was that? Because that was actually my next question, like that triangle relationship, because it was between you, Dean, and
Christina.
Yeah.
It was insane. Like I had felt like I dealt with it in the most respectful, mature way possible. And then just, you don't see all of the conversations and things that are happening until you watch the show back, like all of the interviews that they're doing. And hearing the things that like Dean was saying about me while everything was going on versus what he was saying to my face was completely different.
Right.
So it's just like a total shock, like got portrayed as the one who came in and stole Dean away from Christina. So it's just like the backlash from that compared to The Bachelor was intense. It was insane. Got you.
Now, do you still watch the Bachelor and the Bachelor in Paradise, like the current seasons that are airing now? Like, do you check them out from time to time, or you just like let it go all in one?
I check them out from time to time. I feel like since I experienced it now myself, it's kind of interesting to watch. Like, I enjoyed watching Ari's season. I personally think it's more fun to watch The Bachelor because of all the female contestants.
Right.
And then Paradise is always fun. And I have a bunch of friends that are going to be on Paradise this season. So I'm super excited to watch.
Right. So were you like yelling at the TV, like, no, girl, don't do it. Don't talk to
me.
Oh,
yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, I know this is probably how they're feeling right now, but it's so bad. Like,
yeah.
I should not have said that.
Exactly. Like, no. Right.
Yeah.
I got you. Now, was that your first time on TV going on to The Bachelor? Was that your first time being introduced to television? Were you nervous or excited or anything like that?
Yeah. I mean, as you had mentioned, I did that small YouTube series, Role Models, which we filmed in a week. And so compared to that, it was completely different. Like, yeah, beyond anything I could have ever imagined.
Like the speed and everything was totally different, like
and just like how many like actual workers there are like filming. The whole production side was just really crazy.
Yeah, I bet. Now, have you always wanted to be on TV or be known like for something big? Like, is that always been like a
No,
dream? No, really?
I've always said if I could be rich or famous, I'd rather be rich and have no one know who the hell I am.
Nice. So fame was like nothing you really like sought after. That's not the thing that you really like cared for.
No, I mean personally, like, and it goes back to when I met Justin too. Like, I've never wanted to open myself up to like judgment from the public or people feeling like they have a right to know everything that's going on in my life.
Yeah.
So whenever I meet people that are like famous, I just treat them like normal people, like, because I would want that same respect.
Exactly, and just show love and just be yourself, be honest, right? Be upfront.
Yeah, of course.
That's the best way to do it. So how was, because obviously you're famous now, you're a celebrity now, right? So how was the transition into fame? Like, did it affect anything along the lines of your family life at all, or anything you noticed since you stepped into that spotlight?
Not that much. I mean, I think people would always go up to my sister and be like, you look like this person who's really familiar. And I think like my mom was getting a bunch of people adding her on Instagram. I'm like, Mom, you can't accept these people. Like, I don't know who they are. Like, I don't want them following you.
Mom's on Instagram?
Yeah.
Nice.
Is.
About to give her a follow and shout her out.
I think I would say the hardest thing for me is like, I'm a very friendly person, and I used to work in an industry where I was always at trade shows and meeting like hundreds of people on a regular basis. So now it's just tough for me when someone comes up to me and they're like, oh my gosh, Danielle, how are you? And they like run up and give me a hug. It's like, I don't know where I know you from.
Right.
Like, I don't know if you're a fan. I don't know if you're a friend of a friend. I don't know if I've met you at a show. So it's like, that's probably the weirdest thing for me.
Right. You just try to play it cool. Like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. And then I turn around to my friend. I'm like, I have no idea who this person is.
And just keep walking away.
Yeah.
Now, I know for a fact, like, not only are you just beautiful goddess, right, that just walks around, I'm pretty sure you got every guy stopping in their tracks, but, you're also an entrepreneur who is out there getting shit done, right? And I want to know, like, what other businesses are you into? Like, how many businesses do you own? Are you venturing off into, particular spaces?
Yeah, so I started off with a nail salon in Long Beach, and it's still open. I have one in Hollywood as well. Did the ice cream store in Northern California, but I recently sold my shares. I'm no longer a part of those businesses.
Okay. And why is that? Is it something you just wanted to let go, or decided to?
Yeah, we actually sold the ice cream store, and the other businesses were with my ex. So doing business with your ex is never a good idea in the first place.
Yeah. Lesson learned.
Definitely makes it more difficult when you're broken up. And so, I just felt like it was time to let go, separate myself, move on, start a new business venture. I have been going into more of the app and technology side of business and trying to steer away from brick and mortar.
Nice.
So, there have been several projects that I'm working on. One specifically is an app, and it's, without giving too much away, like it'll be a social app, but like doing something beneficial, I think, for people.
Got you. So like the app, would it be like more like an A&R type of thing? Like, or is it like a more conservative type of app? Like you said, it's a social app, right? So it is just, I know you can't give too much details, but I'm curious and I'm pretty sure everybody else is. So like, what can we expect from it?
It'll just be like something that you could do that will benefit your community in your free time.
Got you. Okay, cool. I know I'm pulling strings here, but
and then also like, so I want to be able to do this too, because I did this in the past, but like being able to like pair companies with certain influencers and celebrities based on like whatever type of event they wanted to have within our space.
Nice. Okay, perfect. So that's good enough. That's good enough.
Yeah.
Give us a concept of what's going on. Now, I know you said you went to college, right? What was the name of the college you went to?
So I actually, when I was transferring to UC Irvine, opened the nail salon. So I just got my AA, and that was in Irvine. And then I had my other degree just at a community college, DVC, in Northern California. And then I have my cosmetology license.
Because I want to ask, like, because I know a lot of people always ask, especially when it comes to college, right? Because a lot of people got their own views, man. They're like, forget college, or they're like, I support college, right? So like, what's your take on college? Do you feel as though it was a waste of time, or do you feel as though it's a great investment based off, your personal ambitions and your goals?
Yeah, I mean, I think it really depends on what you want to do. And I know that's something that people are still deciding. I mean, even for me, I don't think I have a specific career path in terms of an industry that I want to work in. I'm very open-minded and flexible.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I learned a lot in college. I met some really, really interesting professors who are now some of my mentors that I keep in touch with on a regular basis.
Nice.
And there's definitely fundamental things that you learn and take away from college, and even just the college experience of like meeting all your classmates and your colleagues and having that fun social life.
Yeah.
And learning how to balance the two. Mm-hmm. But I also used to tell all of my employees at my ice cream store this, and I'm sure their parents hate me.
Yeah.
But I also think like working jobs while you're going to college and in high school, I learned like probably the number one aspects that I applied to my businesses were all things that I learned through working regular jobs in high school.
Okay.
And so I think for me, it was always about the experience and being hands-on. Like I'm a very hands-on person. So that to me was where I took the most.
Got you. So that's really dope. And I'm glad you said that, because I know a lot of people was like, oh, okay, well, I look up to her. That's cool. They just wanted to know the background with that. And
yeah. I mean, I used to tell all my employees at the ice cream store, I'm like, if you guys do a good job here, any job recommendation you need, any career path you want to pursue, I'm like, I have so many contacts in different industries. And like, if you do a good job, like I will always be someone that you can call and I'll refer you.
Right. So you the plug.
I am. Yeah.
I got you. Nice. Danielle's the plug, guys. If you need any help, reach out to Danielle. She got you.
Yeah.
Nice. So like, transitioning from, college into the lifestyle that you have now, were you like considered like a celebrity before the show, or would you like well known? Because me looking from the outside, and I always thought, you'd probably be amongst the popular group, right? Like the style and glam squad, people that, look up to you in that sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in high school, I was probably the nerd.
Really?
Yeah. But editor of the yearbook, like knew everybody in school, was friends with everyone. And then I think in college, I always hung out with kids that were older than me. So I felt like I was like the young one learning from all my friends.
Yeah.
And then when I modeled a little bit, so I guess I could have, been one of the main models in this group.
Nice.
But yeah, I don't know. I try to stay pretty humble.
Yeah. So you model, right? And were you like in any beauty pageants or anything like any contests?
No,
really?
No, never any beauty pageants. I hate public speaking.
Really?
Even just getting up to have like team meetings at work or like having to do presentations, it's like, oh my gosh, it's the worst.
You don't seem like it though. You seem like a natural, like you just be real cool about it. Like, oh, okay, guys, yeah, let's do this, let's do that.
Yeah, no, can't picture myself doing the pageant. I feel like it's a little too formal for me.
Right, I feel it. To each his own, right?
Yeah.
So, were you active in high school and college? Like, did you do any sports or anything? Were you competitive? And
yeah, I did track, cross country, and tennis. I was on varsity tennis ever since my freshman year, and I'd done cross country and tennis my whole life, and I wanted to do something in track. Randomly did pole vaulting. And a fun little fact is I got third place in my divisionals my junior year. Yeah, so
yeah, you with it then, like you okay.
Yeah, fun little sport.
Gotcha. I might have to actually to a competition with this tennis thing. I'm pretty nice.
Yeah.
Pretty nice.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, I'm pretty nice.
Right.
All right, so I might have to see what you got.
Okay. Oh, set it up.
Right, let's do it. But with everything going on, because obviously you multi-talented in different things, you have a lot going on. How many hours a day do you work on average? Like, what's your lifestyle like?
Ooh, well, now I think because I'm mainly just working on projects, and then also after doing the show, there's all this stuff with like social media, and I definitely see it as being a good platform to maintain, especially when like launching other businesses. So I work anywhere from like some days I'll take off and not work at all, and then other days I'll work like 12 hours.
Nice. So you just grinding it out, just day and night with it.
Yeah, and when I was working at my ice cream store and the nail salon, I would be working like 14 hours, 7 days a week, if
Yeah.
not sometimes more, like literally not sleeping at all because you're doing everything yourself when you're
Right.
starting out.
Wow. Interesting. So
Yeah.
being an entrepreneur, right? Having your own business, running, day and night, trying to get the team together, like when shit hits the fan and things go left, right? You ever thought
Mm-hmm.
about, quitting and giving up? If so, like what motivated you to keep going?
Yeah, I definitely had so many tough days. Like the way I actually became an owner of the nail salon,
Hmm.
because at first I was just kind of consulting and helping out, was our business, one of the partners took the money from our salon, opened a nail salon right across the street, and in the
Yeah.
morning just caused this huge fiasco. So that was like insane for me. I was like, oh my gosh, I just came in to work the front.
Right.
All this stuff happened. My ex was like working on something else, and I just picked up the pieces. I convinced like several of the nail technicians to stay back, talk to the customers, spent the next 4 hours going around to all the beauty supplies, buying all the products.
Yeah.
And it was just like, for me, I'm a problem solver.
Got you.
That's like one of my best like traits. And so
Yeah.
for me, I'm just very good at looking at the situation and being like, okay, just take a step back, breathe, don't cry.
Right.
Everything's going to be okay.
Exactly.
There's always like a solution. And then it's just like tackling the problems head on. So
I got you. So along the lines of motivation, though, what kept you going? Was it family, or is it just, a personal thing? Like, okay, I can't quit. I can't stop, grinding for it. I got to make it happen.
yeah, well, I think, my grandfather had always told me growing up, like, you have to work whatever career and job you want that's going to support the lifestyle that you want. And so I'm like, it was just a challenge to myself. Like, I can't give up because the only person I'd be letting down is myself. And if I do this now, like, I'm just preventing myself from so many other opportunities that could lie ahead. And it's just like, I've always never been a competitive person really with other people, but it's always just been challenging myself.
Got you.
So it's like, if I don't do this, like, I'm letting myself down. It's like,
Yeah, you need that reassurance. Like, I got this. Like, I know I can do it.
that mindset, like, keep moving forward. Like, everything's just based off your energy, and the more energy you put into something, like, the more you're going to get back. So it's like, I can't quit. Like, there's literally just not an option for me to quit.
Got you. See, ladies and G's, that's the attitude you gotta have, especially in this game called life. Like, you can't give up. You gotta stay focused. Shit's gonna go left and right? But just being consistent and staying, determined with that is definitely key. And
I think you're your number one motivator. Like, you have to you have to cheer yourself on.
right. Be your own cheerleader. Exactly. Like, even if you got to be on graphic designer, consultant, do it all. But to stay focused on what you really want to do. I definitely agree.
If you really want to do it, like, don't give up.
Exactly. And along the lines of entrepreneurship, do you believe there's a sort of pattern or a formula to becoming successful as an entrepreneur, or do you feel as though it's just all centered or based around who you are as a person?
I mean, there's definitely certain things that would, like, luck, but I think, I don't know, to me, when I talk to a lot of other entrepreneurs too, it's like, they're extremely creative and they're problem solvers. Like, a lot of entrepreneurs see a problem in an industry or with something and they create a solution for it. And so my mindset with the nail salons was, what is everybody else doing? What are they doing wrong? How can we improve it? And how can I apply it to my own business?
Nice. And that's definitely the right attitude to have and go about it, especially along those lines. And what would be, your favorite aspect of being an entrepreneur?
I just love the flexibility, number one, of working for yourself, like having that freedom. And I think a lot of people think like, oh, I had people say this to me all the time, like, you're an entrepreneur, you get to go on all these trips and you don't work at all. And I'm like, no, the thing is, like, when you work for yourself, you never sleep because there's constantly something that you could be doing. Like, I'd be sending out emails at like 4 or 5 in the morning and people are like, have you slept yet? And I was like, no, but I'll probably get an hour of sleep after this. Wake up and do it all over again. You're constantly thinking of ways to improve your business.
Exactly. It's a constant grind. Like, people always think it's the glitz and glam, right? They see the exotic whips, they see the trips, like you said, the mansions, but behind the scenes, it's a fucking grind, man. Like, you really got to get it.
Yeah, it is. Because if you're taking all that time off and you're not working on your business, the whole thing could fall apart and then you won't be getting any of those nice things anymore.
Exactly. Then you'd be like, all right, it's over, right? You just call it quits and pack it up. So what lessons have you learned so far, being in business, from starting a business from the ground up, whether it's with your ex or just starting solo, to maintaining your business and growing it? What lessons have you learned so far?
To me, it was always like, listening to your customers and giving them what they want, but
Mm-hmm.
still keeping your business in mind and numbers.
Yeah.
Another thing was, now this is like a practice I apply. Like, I would never ask someone to do something that I wouldn't do myself. And I think
Mm-hmm.
I learned that from working in the ice cream store.
Mm-hmm.
Like, definitely lead by example.
Yeah.
And the third, just like doing your due diligence and really researching your competition, seeing like what other successful businesses are following a similar model, and look and see the patterns that they're following, and the things that you can apply to your own business.
Right. Right. And try to mimic in your own way and try to duplicate that success. Right.
Yeah. And it's
Gotcha.
really just trying to understand your customers and
Mm-hmm.
how to get a better understanding of them and what they want.
Right, right. Now you going through, these transitions, and you have multiple businesses going on. Like, what sacrifices have you made to become a successful entrepreneur? Because I feel like this is a question that, goes over people's heads, or they just don't get asked. Like, because a lot of people always want to know the glitz and glam, right? They want to know the shine. But like, what's the fucking struggle? Because everybody, go through trials and tribulations. Like,
Yeah.
what sacrifices have you made?
Well, I definitely personal sacrifices. Like, I wasn't going out and hanging out with my friends. And, when you're like, all your friends are still in college, or you're fresh out of college, everybody's still partying. They're going out all the time. And you sacrifice all of that, especially, in the early stages of your business.
Mm-hmm.
So you sacrifice the social life. And I think, also you really have to make a big effort to maintain your personal relationships. Like, my relationship with my ex definitely struggled because we just became so focused on the business. We really lost sight of our personal relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, but I just think it really tests you as a person. Like, you have to really believe in yourself and the concept that you have in your business, because it's not going to automatically take off and be the successful business. Like, it takes
Right.
a lot of work, a lot of slow days, a lot of issues you face. So I think it just really tests your confidence in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be willing to endure those things. It definitely makes you a tougher, stronger person.
Absolutely. Now, what advice, because I know I don't have you for a long period of time here, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna wrap it up pretty soon, but what advice, would you give to someone looking to pursue what you do, whether it's, becoming a model or owning their own business or becoming an influencer? What would be your advice, the first thing you recommend them doing to get it off to a great start?
I think just be ready to hit the ground running. Like, you really have to invest all of your time into it. Like, I know so many people, even friends of mine, that want to start a business or have this great idea, but then, everybody has a great idea. Everybody, thinks they can start a business, but unless you're really willing to put all of your energy and focus into it, it's not going to turn out well.
Yeah. Coming down to the fact of, knowing who you are and knowing what you want, right? And just surrounding yourself with the right people. And another question that I got was big that a lot of people wanted to know. Are you happy, right, with who you are right now? Like, what you're doing right now? Do you feel as though you should be doing more, or are you content with where you are?
I think the thing for me is I'm like never content. I feel like sky's the limit. Like, there's so many other things that I want to accomplish. So it's like, I just feel like I'm constantly on the go because I want to try and do as much as possible for as long as I can.
Right.
So am I happy in terms of who I am as a person, the relationships I have, the accomplishments, and the things that I've been able to do? 100%.
Nice.
But I'm definitely not content.
Right. You still got that drive. Yeah. That's the
I'm
hustle.
like always, waking up early, reading books, researching things, like scheduling meetings with people. Like, I just want to be able to take advantage of every opportunity I can.
Absolutely. And that's what this podcast is basically all about, is just making that connection. That's one of the reasons why I started it, to, gain that value and information from those who have it and giving it to those who need it. And that's really what it is.
That's how you level up.
Hey, shout out to the Level Up crew. Exactly. Now, when it's all said and done, right? Like, what do you want to be remembered for? Like, what's the one thing you want to be known for, or is it multiple things?
I think one of my biggest things is definitely giving women the encouragement to be more ambitious in the entrepreneurial world, because I feel like it's something we have more issues with. Like, it's still a male-dominated industry, and I've even faced lots of challenges with that
my
whole entire career. So it's just giving them a bigger voice and giving them the tools that I feel like are necessary to have successful businesses and to go out and pursue things like this on their own.
That's so heavy. That's so heavy. So women empowerment, basically, to give them that information that you have to help them get to not where just you are, but a little bit further. Give them the head start.
Yeah, and even just in life, like let's female empowerment. Like no more women tearing down other women. Like we need to be less competitive with each other and more collaborative. Like let's just eliminate that.
It's like, ladies, let's eliminate that. Let's get that shit over with.
Yeah.
So we can grow.
Yeah, because we can do so many good things together. And I think it just slows you down. And it's just such a bad thing to have that negative energy. It's a total waste.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And my last question, we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. Who was your greatest inspiration? Like, was there anybody you looked up to that really inspired you to take the journey of just entrepreneurship overall?
That's a tough one. I think it would have been one of my bosses right after college. He owned this huge company in Europe and Asia. And he told me a story on how he started, and it just made me realize, wow, like I could do this too. I could start my own business. One of my college professors also said, like, I think I was talking to them about an idea how to work, and they're like, you should just go off and do this on your own. And I was like, you know what? Yeah. Maybe I will.
Right. I got this.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I think also I've always had a pretty entrepreneurial spirit.
That's so dope.
Yeah.
And I just want to say that, I greatly appreciate you for taking the time out of your day, especially come on to the podcast and, share your insights on, from the Bachelor to the Bachelor in Paradise and opening up about entrepreneurship and what you have embarking on. I just want to say thank you for coming onto the show. I greatly appreciate it. And like I said, I know you have a limited period of time, so I don't want to hold you. And I got like 1,000 more questions from my fans, but we might have to break this up in like 2 segments or something to come back later. But I just want to say from us all here on Level Up Daily Podcast that we wish you the best in everything that you do. And again, I just want to say thank you for coming onto the show. I enjoyed you having a great time, hopefully, on the podcast, and looking forward to, you flourishing in this industry and becoming one of the top women entrepreneurs inside your field. So thank you so much. Yeah, absolutely. So until next time, guys, we got to cut it short. But until next time, I'm coming back with her part 2. We're going to have like a tennis match. She said we got to do that. Yeah. So be on the lookout for that video. But until next time, much love, peace, and blessings. Yes, thank you so much. Level up, 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 level up. All this on me so yummy, all this sauce so yummy. No, you want this yummy, yummy all in your tummy. And that's the podcast. Oh, it was great. Yeah, I loved it. Great vibes, good flow. Super fun. Yeah, very easy. Good. Yeah, that's what I try to make it. What is, your most used makeup product in your collection? Because I know you're big on makeup. Yes. Most used product would probably be my Fenty foundation by Rihanna. She did a great job. Hey, all right, Riri, we see you. Nice. You big into like staying in and cooking versus going out, or? Yeah, I love cooking at home. I normally cook at home something at least once a day. Nice. Like what? What's your favorite dish to make? I always make breakfast. I'll do like French toast, an omelet. I do these really good sweet potato hash browns. Nice. My type of gal right there. Now, what's your favorite song right now that's on repeat? Like you can't get it out your mind. You got to play it once a day. I've been listening to Betty Who, and it's called Just Thought You Should Know. Ooh, just thought you should know. Yeah, I love her voice. It's just like a fun, uplifting song. Nice. Now I'm gonna have to check that. I'm pretty sure everybody is already hip to it but me. Now, what's your ideal location to retire in? This one's tough. I think I would honestly want to have a nice house, like somewhere in the hills where I could have a bunch of animals. What kind of animals? Like what we got? Cheetahs running around? Horses, I want a bunch of dogs, cats, llamas. Who is someone you always wanted to meet? I would love to meet the founder of Bumble. Oh, nice. Another female entrepreneur. And then I love what she's done with Bumble, and I think she's incredibly smart and well-rounded. And I think she's doing something, great for the female community as well in terms of entrepreneurs. Dope. Well, maybe we can get, you and her onto the podcast for like part 2. And we can get this going. Yeah. That'd be dope. Last question. What profession would you be willing to attempt? Another profession. Mm-hmm. I've been considering doing event planning. Really?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, if you ever in Michigan and Detroit area, do have a nightclub called Skip Fridays. Is that the music hall?
Oh, cool.
And if you're ever interested, you're ever in the city, definitely hit me up. Let me know.
Oh, wow.
We can
Nice.
get you together.
All right, I will.
All right, cool.